Welcome back to Atlanta and Company. I'm Holly Firfer. I Won't Survive, I'll Thrive. That's the title of Araya McGarry's new book, which tells the compelling and inspirational story of her life. Now, she's traveled all over the country bringing a message of hope, but she lives right here in Atlanta, and she joins us now with more. Welcome home.
Thank you. It's good to be home.
You enjoyed an upscale lifestyle growing up, I guess you could say, until you lost your dad. And that was when you were a teenager?
Yes, I was 15, and he was brutally murdered by the mafia, one of the mafias that never was solved. Wow. But at 15, I went from multi-millionaire in New York City, from skating with Dorothy Hamill in Lake Placid, having a wonderful lifestyle, to absolutely nothing overnight. And I got into survival mode real quick and got into the real world, got a real job, worked my way through high school, graduated at 16, and wanted to get out into the show business limelight real quick and start making the real money, because now I had to.
Wow, as a teenager, that's remarkable. And then you went into a relationship. It was an abusive relationship, right?
Yes, I married a pastor's son that I thought it was going to be the white picket fence and wonderful and everything was just going to be great, and it ended up being very abusive, but not the obvious abuse that we all can usually tell and see, you know, the constant beatings. It was a lot of verbal and emotional and degrading abuse that I'm trying to get the word out and letting women know that that's just as bad. Now, we should degrade you and be belittling you, making you feel like nothing every single day of your life and nothing's good enough. That takes a long time to get over. I wrote a poem in my book that's called One Black Eye is One Too Many, because I only got one black eye. That took a couple of weeks to get over, but the emotional abuse took years and years to make me feel like I really am important and special. Positive people, and that started building my self-esteem. And being around that for 2 years, I was able to, one day he came home screaming and yelling, nothing was good enough, and I thought to myself, enough. Nothing is going to be good enough for him. And I used my company car that I had earned as a getaway car, and I got out with my little 5-year-old daughter because I had money in the bank, self-esteem, a car in the driveway, and I try to help women now do things you love to do, even during bad times. So you might have the self-esteem or the means to get out. Yes, after my mother had cancer, my mother died recently, right after my divorce, which was really hard, and then my brother got cancer, and then I get cancer. And that's why I said when I woke up from the emergency room from the surgery that took out half of both my lungs, my thymus, the lining around my heart, disconnected half my diaphragm, then they took out the left thoracic nerve, my vocal cord, and guaranteed me I'd never speak above a whisper again. It would be absolutely impossible, but made it through, and you know, your hair grows back, and you feel so, I felt so ugly and so weak and sick through chemo, and I love to go in now and talk to people going through it, that there's life at the end of the tunnel, and everything can come back if you have a good attitude. And what made my heart the most hopeful was seeing cancer survivors 2 and 3 years out in remission and cancer-free, like, oh, there they go, I can do it too. You know, so I like to be that to them now. I guess I was born that way. I've always loved people, I always loved animals, I'm always the cheerleader. One reason I didn't keep pursuing my show business career, because I always want everybody else to get the part. So I'm in the audition room, you can do it. It's like, wait a minute, I'm up to the same part. Right. So, you know, so I love being the cheerleader, and I love helping people, and no matter what I go through, I'm sure this is not the last of the obstacles. I'll always go through and say, okay, I'll go through this and help somebody else in this situation, because I love people, and my favorite thing to do is talk to people, talking to churches and groups and book clubs, any club you have. We laugh together, we cry together, we inspire each other together, because that's what it's all about in this world, being best friends and pulling other people up to the finish line.